Alright, so we have sound now. That's good. Trying to see if this will stay focused a little bit better now that it's horizontally as well. How's the audio sound? I just plugged in my auxiliary mic to try to get a little bit better sound. How's that? Still can hear me? I just plugged in my auxiliary mic to try to get a little bit better sound. Awesome, that's good to hear. Let's see if we can adjust this camera now. It's weird, it doesn't like staring right out the window. But when I'm focused on the dash, it does a little bit better. So we're going to keep it right about there. It looks like it's doing good. I am in central Connecticut, for those of you that have asked. And we're looking at about 4 inches roughly already. The roads are still drivable, at least if you have all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. They are doing their best to keep up with the plowing, but it's, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, they are definitely passable as long as you have good tires or a good vehicle. I definitely, some of these highways, some of these roads, I wouldn't be out here if you were in two-wheel drive or in a car. For those of you that are here right now and might have missed my message on the first live that I attempted to do. This is technically my first time trying to live stream and my first time doing some storm chasing or weather spotting, whatever you want to call it. When I was younger, I definitely loved weather, and I even took some like meteorology classes and wanted to be a weatherman when I grew up. That obviously didn't happen. Plans changed, things changed in life, but I've always still had an interest in weather, so I figured why not combine my love of being outdoors and adventuring with also just kind of live streaming some weather so that you guys can see what the conditions are like possibly in your area or other parts of the country, especially during winter storms like this. These are fun to drive in. But yes, recovery gear makes a difference. I have all my recovery gear on my truck, as I always do. So if we run into anyone that's stuck and needs some help, we're going to try to help them out. Other than that, I'm just going to kind of drive around central Connecticut where the heaviest bands are going to come through. They're going to give us about 3 inches an hour once the heavy bands start up around 2:30, 3 o'clock. Plow crews have they've been keeping up with the roads as best as possible. The snowfall rate though is pretty high, so we are still having roads that are white with no visible lines, even though a snow recently passed through this area. Yeah, our snow's supposed to go on until about, the heaviest of it's going to be done by about 1 or 2 a.m. And then they're expecting some just light snow, light flurries all the way until maybe 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Hey, I gotta make some minor adjustments to the stream setting. They didn't carry over. Screen might go black for a few minutes, but I'm still here. Stick with me, and we're gonna continue seeing what the conditions look like here across central Connecticut. Alright, I am back. Made some adjustments to the stream settings. Hopefully things will go a little smoother now. But I am back. Get this camera back up and running when we can. Buckle up for safety. Just did. Got the seatbelt on. You never know. Alright, some of these side roads really looks like a plow maybe passed through one time. Definitely has gotten pretty covered up again. You know, it's interesting how people who are out here storm chasing always are saying, like, you know, if you don't need to be out on the roads, stay home. I mean, it's a little, I guess it's a little hypocritical, but I mean, seriously though, like if you don't need to be out and you're not confident in driving in this stuff, just stay home. Obviously, I have good tires. I know my truck's capabilities, and I'm confident in driving in this weather. So, if it's not an emergency, try not to go out. Roads are still very slick, and there are parts that aren't plowed at all. And if we see anyone that is stuck, we're going to do our best to help them out. For everyone tuning in, though, how's the weather looking in your guys' area? I know we had some parts of the United States supposed to get crippled with ice, but a good majority of us are going to enjoy this white powdery stuff. Seven inches, nice. We're not quite there yet. We're probably at like 4 or 5, possibly up to 6 now. But parts of Connecticut are expecting up to 20 inches of snow. So we'll see if we actually get up to that number. In about an hour and a half, though, snowfall rates are supposed to increase to about 3 inches an hour. So we'll definitely be seeing some high accumulation at that point. Yeah, it gets slick very quickly. That's for sure. Pull in here real quick. Try to fix my wiper. Got a glaze on it. I will say that live streaming like this is pretty interesting. One thing I'm noticing is it's pretty difficult to stay up with the chat, especially driving. Yeah, pretty important, focusing on driving. Obviously, when I'm stopped, I can chat with you guys a little bit better.
Zynga Poker is the most realistic hold'em game out there, and it's free.
All right. Let's go check out some other areas. I'm curious to see the condition of some of our major highways here. So one thing I want to say, though, if you are out in the storm or anything like that, just be mindful of all the public safety that are out there. Let them do their job. Don't crowd the plows. Give them plenty of room. And again, if you don't have to be out, don't be out. Don't create more of a hazard for these first responders and these tow truck drivers. Had a handful of plows on the other side doing their job. This side definitely hasn't gotten plowed for at least probably an hour based on the snowfall rates that we've been having. So it looks like the on-ramp from one highway to another is not really plowed at all. No, not many on that highway, which was good. Good to see. I'm getting onto one of the more major highways here in Connecticut right now. And, I mean, the plows have been doing their best, and I definitely see a few vehicles out here on this road, but are you guys able to hear that the weather alerts on my Midland radio okay? So right now I'm actually in auto, four-wheel auto, which is a feature that the GMC Canyon has. It acts as if it acts like an all-wheel drive almost. So it only engages that front differential when it detects that it needs to. Although there is enough snow on this highway that I could probably be running four-wheel drive. There's definitely people out here on the road. Again, this is one of the more major highways here in Connecticut. Looks like only the right lane has been plowed recently. The rest of it is has at least a good inch on it. Again, if you're out here on the roads, or if you have to go out in a winter storm, just take it slow. Listen, I'm in four-wheel auto. I have good tires right now. I'm going about 45 on the highway. And that Land Rover Discovery with its hazards on passed me like I was standing still. Like, slow down. Just slow down. It's not worth the risk. And then you just create more hazards. You create a hazard for first responders, create a hazard for other drivers on the road. I didn't realize the Frontiers have 4 Auto too, but that's definitely a nice feature. I know when some people are asking, I'm like, oh yeah, I used 4 Auto. They're like, what's that? And it's basically all-wheel drive. Oh, no 4 Auto, okay. This tow truck over here is moving. He is moving. So visibility has definitely gone down. And I feel like the snowfall rates are picking up just a little bit. Yeah, they said the heavier bands are supposed to start coming through anywhere between 2 and 3, with 3 being really when the heaviest of it starts up. And that's supposed to go all the way from 3 until about almost midnight. And they're expecting, again, 2 to 3 inches per hour of snowfall and possibly whiteout conditions. If you're new here, if you recently joined the live stream, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm Jeremy from camping, overlanding content, right? But when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a weatherman. And when I was in school, I actually took a class on meteorology, and I've always had interest in the weather. So I figured, why not use my YouTube platform where I have a decent following, and my truck, which is obviously built for off-road and off-grid camping, overlanding, so it has good tires, it has recovery gear. Why not use this and my YouTube platform to do like storm chasing, basically? So again, if you're new to this stream, welcome in. This is my first official live stream technically, and my first time trying to do any type of storm chasing. So we're having some no audio and audio. a number between 1 and 100. Well, my daughter would want me to say 6, 7, so... Alright, so we are getting stuck behind some plows right now. Again, if you are out on the road, if you have to go out, just don't crowd the plows. Give them their room, let them do their job. There's no need to be in a rush when you're out here, so don't try to pass them. Just stay behind them, wait for them to move out of the way, and then go forth. Yeah, if you're having audio issues, you might just have to close out the stream and reopen it up, and then you should be fine. Yeah, visibility's definitely gone down. You can barely see the blinking lights of the plows up in front of me, and I mean, here in person, they're only about 3-4 cars lengths ahead of me, but you can barely see them on the screen. That's the way to do it, you know? When I do watch certain YouTubers live stream, I usually do the same thing. I put the stream itself up on the TV or my laptop, and I just try to chat using the phone as needed. Crazy how this snow is just sticking so quickly. Like, you can barely see, but if you look at the back of that police car, you can't even see his license plate. You can barely see the lights in his window because the snow has just covered them up. But yeah, it sticks quickly. Temperature right now is 8 degrees here in central Connecticut, with, I want to say the wind chill was feeling close to 0. But I can double check that when I get a second. Yeah, so 8 degrees, and it feels like 3 outside right now. 8 degrees feels like 6. That it's not too far off from where we're at, which is crazy. So the plows ended up getting off, and I transitioned over to one of the other major highways, and definitely not plowed, or not plowed as well. This off ramp though is surprisingly good. Yeah, wind chill and -20, I could not imagine. I know some places up there in that area were supposed to feel wind chills of -60, which is crazy to think about. In the Up. For those that don't know, the Up is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Apparently it's a different place out there. It's just a different way of living, from what I've heard. Yeah, the exploding tree risk. I've been seeing that. It's crazy. I didn't realize that could happen until recently. But apparently the sap expands, and it's kind of like when you put a soda can in the freezer, right? Eventually it just gets so cold and it expands and it pops. But yeah, it was crazy to hear about. So this is one problem with wind. Oh, well, there we go. It just turned green. Never mind. So I was going to say that one of the problems sometimes with winter weather is if the roads aren't plowed very good, you can't really see the lines. And if you don't pull all the way up to the right line or the right area, it might take forever for that light to change. You're following me on a map? How are you doing that, Chris? I'm assuming you're just using like Google Maps or something like that, and you're seeing where I'm at. All right, well, that green arrow did not turn for me, but it is safe. I'm going to go ahead and take that. Well, it's definitely a good sign that on all the major highways. Haven't really seen anyone stuck just yet. Hopefully it does not happen. Hopefully those not confident enough, or those were not without a proper vehicle, are staying home. Very fun game here in the winter. Where are the lines? If you're not careful, and I think that's a lot of the reason why sometimes people go off the roads, is because they literally go off the road because they just can't see the lines. They don't know what's what, and they end up sliding right off. I know most of us in this live stream probably realize this, but tires really do make all the difference. My stopping distance right there at that stop sign was pretty normal, actually. But obviously, if you don't have the right tires or you're running on slicks, like, your stopping distance is going to greatly increase. Some of these back roads over here are definitely not plowed at all. Some of the parking lots are getting plowed, which is good. For those of you just joining in, welcome. I am Jeremy from AT4 Overland Bound. Again, I usually do off-roading, overland, camping videos, but I've always had an interest in weather. Took a meteorology class, wanted to be a weatherman when I was a kid. Obviously, things change, but I decided, why not use my platform here on YouTube combined with my vehicle? You know, the fact that I have a purpose-built vehicle for overlanding, which also means it's capable to drive through some nasty weather, right? So why not combine those two and basically start storm chasing? So here we are, my very first live stream and my first storm chasing video. So thank you for joining this live. And yeah, sit back, and if you have any questions regarding the conditions or the temperatures out here or where I'm at, just drop them in the chat and I'll let you guys know. Yes, the vehicle is definitely ready for the zombie apocalypse. When it happens, I'll be able to get out and get somewhere safe. yeah, whether it was zombie apocalypse, whether it was storm chasing, or whether it's overlanding. I mean, the truck's built for it all, right? All right, so for people like Chris who are following me on a map, or people familiar with Connecticut, I am getting on 84 West right now, heading into Hartford, and it is not plowed. Not plowed very well either. And there are cars out here, which is crazy. All right, again, these are the conditions currently in Hartford, Connecticut, which is central part of the state. Temperature is about 7 degrees right now, and we are starting to get into some of the heavier bands of the snowfall. Around about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are expecting upwards of 3 inches an hour, which will bring us to a grand total of possibly 20 inches for the state once this is all said and done by around 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Yeah, I would say the highways where I'm at are definitely yellow. For those that have those GPS maps open in their vehicles going 20, 30 miles per hour, it's at least they're going slow, and at least they're taking it easy if they do have to be out here in this weather. Yeah, I mean, building up a vehicle can be time consuming, especially if you don't have the money to do it all at once. But I believe in getting out there and just exploring, adventuring, even going camping with what you have. You got to start somewhere, and then you can always just slowly build up from there as you get money, as you get funds. Don't rush it. Enjoy the process, and enjoy just being out there and exploring. That's what it's really about. Yeah, 20 inches is a lot. The last time Connecticut saw 20 plus inches was, I want to say, 2013. There was a large snowstorm back in 2016, but I think Connecticut only saw like 16 to 18 inches that storm. So it's been a while since we saw 20 plus inches. I'm hoping that that is what we end up getting. I love the snow. I think it's awesome. It makes everything look magical, and it can be tricky to drive in, though. It can be very treacherous if you're not careful. If you don't have the right setup, if you're not confident in your driving abilities, it can be dangerous. But it's fun to watch. It's fun to see. And it's fun to play in. So I've always liked the snow. I hate the cold, though. I really do. Like, if I don't have to be in below freezing temperatures for too long, I will try to stay as warm as I possibly can, because I hate being cold. Got some plows on the other side of 84 doing their job. People keeping some distance, which is good. Don't crowd those plows, give them room to do their job. But there is a decent amount of traffic built up behind them, which is crazy. Like, there is a lot of vehicles on that side of the highway. We got an accident 84 eastbound between 43 and 44. Yeah, man, that's what happens. You go out on these roads, you don't have the right tires, you don't have the right vehicle, you don't have the confidence in your driving skills, and accidents can happen, especially when the plows really aren't keeping up with the highways. It's because the snow is getting heavy. It's getting heavy quick. I'm actually coming up on exits 43 and 44. So that traffic on the other side, which was 84 east, either they recently reopened the highway, or those are just people coming onto the highway after the accident area. All right, so just recently, I feel like visibility has gone down drastically. So we are probably getting into some of those heavier snow bands, because the snowfall rate has definitely increased. So I'm trying to go from 84 westbound onto Route 9 right now, and it is not plowed very well at all. I've been seeing some reports out of Connecticut saying that some spots have already seen about a foot of snow, which is crazy because I'm still only seeing maybe probably 6 inches, maybe upwards of 8. Anyone here tuning in from Connecticut that can give me some snowfall totals? Well, it's crazy to see, but Target is still open. Target said, we are not closing. We need to still make some money. Get gas at Costco. Well, you definitely know where I'm at, which is good. Good job following me. Costco is closed, though. There is absolutely no one at Costco. Everything is shut down there. So good on Costco for closing up. I'm just going to fix these wipers real quick. It is fun trying to see if you can actually keep up with me. Snow is coming down, very heavy though. It is coming down quick, that is for sure. Alright, for those wondering right now, I'm just kind of taking a look at some maps, trying to figure out where I should go next. Kind of trying to look at the weather radar as well to see if there's any heavy bands. Although it kind of appears that most of the state is in one right now. Alright, we're going to get moving here in a second. For those of you that are still with me. If there is anyone in Connecticut that wants to see what their road conditions are like and are somewhat close to central Connecticut, let me know. I can head out that direction. .84 near Danbury. Well, Danbury's might be a little far for me to drive today, but we all know that 84 in Connecticut is horrible no matter what. So 84 between Hartford and Farmington was somewhat drivable. For the most part, it looked like the left lane was the only one that had been recently plowed, and the rest of the lanes were pretty just not good. I am going to start heading towards the Waterbury area on 84 though, so as I get closer we'll definitely get maybe a little bit of an idea as to what it looks like. I saw a recent study that actually said 84 is one of the avoided highways or roads to drive in Connecticut during the winter. For some reason, state DOT doesn't keep up with 84 as well as they do some of the other highways. Plus, 84 has a lot of twists and turns, a lot of bridges, so they ice over more quickly. The other two roads that were apparently the most avoided during winter storms outside of 84 were Route 8, basically all of Route 8, which is not surprising there. Again, Route 8 has a lot of twists and turns, a lot of tight sections, a lot of hilly sections. And then the other one was Route 44. And Route 44, if I'm not mistaken, is the northwestern side of the state. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll have to maybe pull up my map next time I stop and double check that. But yeah, so 84. And it was mostly, I think they said it was 84 from Waterbury to Danbury, Route 8 for the entire stretch, and all of Route 44 were the three roads most avoided during winter storms. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and let me know in the comments where you're from and how this winter storm is impacting you. Chris, if you're still there, where am I right now? Let's see if you've been keeping up. Yep, I just recently passed Cedar Street, and I'm currently on Route 9 going into New Britain. Correct. Ah, Ken, welcome. Why aren't you out here with me, buddy? Let me guess, it's because of all the white stuff you see on the road. Alright, so getting on to 72 right now, and it is barely plowed. It's definitely not as plowed as Route 9 was. I'm actually not on a repeater right now. I'm just on channel 18 for GMRS and also listening to the weather alerts as they get updated. Well, Ken, I'm going to be in your area shortly, so if you want to know what the conditions are like, just let me know. Everyone can still hear me, right? Wave from your window while sipping hot cocoa. Honestly, once I get home, I might have to have some hot cocoa myself. Wave from your window. Honestly. Yes, hot cocoa definitely sounds good. Well, looks like I'm going to have to plug in my phone here shortly. I'm hoping this is not going to mess with the audio. But we don't want to die right now. We are currently on 72 approaching 84. So but just be aware, I am going to plug in my phone here in a minute, and hopefully the audio stays good. Please don't die. You know what? I am doing my best. I hope everyone can still hear me. I plugged in my phone, still have the wireless mic going. It seems to be charging my phone, and I hope you can all still hear me. Awesome. Well, that's good to know that it works. It is good to know that I can charge my phone through the wireless mic's adapter that's also plugged into my phone. So that is good to know. See, I'm testing out a bunch of things right now, learning a lot of things. For those of you, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. I am doing my best to stay safe. Again, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. I am currently on 84, and we're coming around the curve right after 72. Got a Honda Civic out here, driving really slow. Honestly, shouldn't be out, but people have their own emergencies. And maybe they were at work and their work got closed and they're now heading home. But this is 84 right now. Visibility is down to a quarter of a mile, if not less. It looks like the right lane was recently plowed, but everything else is pretty bad right now. I'd say there's a solid inch or two on all lanes of the highway. While driving in a blizzard. I'm assuming that was in reference to the learning a bunch of things, you know, like the mic, plugging it in, staying charged, doing my first live stream, all in a blizzard, learning a bunch. Yes, the token Honda Civic. Yep. You know, you drive hours on an off-road trail to get to an epic camping spot, only to find that Honda Civic already there, or sometimes a Subaru. But again, for those just recently tuning in, this is 84 westbound in Southington, Connecticut, heading towards Waterbury. And it is almost whiteout conditions, and the highway it's passable, but take it slow. Make sure you have a all-wheel drive vehicle, four-wheel drive vehicle with a good set of tires. And even then, if you do not have to be out on the roads, please don't. Allow the first responders to do their job. Allow the plow trucks to do their job. Ken, how much do you guys think you have over in your area? Wow, even the local ski mountain closed. That's crazy. You would think a ski mountain would love these conditions, but yeah, we haven't seen these conditions in a while here in Connecticut. Last time Connecticut got 20 plus inches was in 2013. We had 18 and a few other small scattered ones over the years, but if this ends up being a 20 plus inch storm like they were predicting, then yeah, it's been a while since we saw these conditions. Chris, since you're keeping up with me on the maps, I am currently about to pass Queen Street on 84 in Southington. I am actually coming up near Mount Southington. I'll try to get off and take a drive by, see if it is still open. These would be some crazy conditions to ski or snowboard in. I've done neither. I don't really have interest in doing them because, like I said earlier, for those that have been on long enough, I really hate the cold. I really do. No amount of layers are going to keep me warm. I enjoy being out in the snow. I love seeing this kind of environment. Like Ken said, welcome to Hoth. Huge Star Wars fan, and this does feel very Hoth-like right now. It is fun to be driving out in this kind of stuff. As long as you're careful, though. Again, as long as you're careful and you have a proper vehicle to do so. But I hate the cold, so those people that ski and snowboard with all those layers on, I would still be cold. I know I would be. I'd still be cold. What am I driving? I am driving my 22 GMC Canyon AT4. It is modified to be an overlanding vehicle. So for those that are new to the stream, welcome. Thank you for being here. My name's Jeremy. This is the AT4 Overland Bound channel. Typically, I do off-road videos and overland camping videos. But I've always had an interest in weather. When I was a young kid, I wanted to be a weatherman. And I actually took some classes in meteorology. But I never pursued that. So, yeah, I went a different direction. But I figured, why not combine my YouTube platform with my interest in weather and my vehicle that is purpose-built and very capable, has good tires, has recovery gear, and get out here and kind of do some storm chasing and do my very first live as well. Yes, I am coming up on West Street. Actually, we got someone stuck right here. I'm going to see if we can possibly help them. And whoever asked if my chase lights are on, they are on. So So they were trying to make it up this hill, but obviously could not. And so they're gonna back up and try to get back on the highway. Alright, how we doing out over here in the chat? Thankfully a state trooper showed up. He is going to try to use his push bumper to get them up this hill. But yeah. No, he's not gonna give him a citation, but he's kind of gonna push them up this hill. Yeah, so our Connecticut state troopers, they actually have rubber on the front of their push bumpers to allow them to do stuff like that and not really damage the vehicles at all. So he was successfully able to push that vehicle up the hill, and that's that. I'm sure you guys saw I broke out the max tracks. I started trying to because originally they were gonna just back up. They were just gonna back up and take exit 30 instead of trying to, which is the next exit up, instead of trying to take this hill. So that's what we were working on, using the max tracks, trying to get them backed up. And then the trooper showed up. So he gave them a nice push up the hill, and they should be good to go now. Now it looks like the trooper is sliding a little bit. Might have to give the trooper some help with a push bump or some max tracks maybe. Let's go check. we catch most of that? Hopefully we caught most of that, but yeah, even the trooper was having a little bit of trouble. All right, so let's get back on to 84. Yeah, the 84 is not very well plowed, and the snow is coming down very hard now. Definitely accumulations of probably 2 inches an hour right now. Even just that little bit of time spent out there trying to help, the hood of the truck had accumulated a decent amount. Thank you for tuning in, Chris. Being part of my very first stream. But yeah, I'm gonna do my best to stay safe. Start slowly circling back around to where I live. See if anyone else can use some help. And we'll go from there. You too, Chris. Thank you. Take care. Stay warm. Stay safe where you're at. For those of you following along, we are passing exit 30 on 84 West in Cheshire, Connecticut. Or actually, this is the Middale area. But 84 is not very well plowed. There are definitely spots of 2 to 3 inches in the lanes of 84. If you are in a 2-wheel drive vehicle with non-all-terrain or winter weather rated tires, and you are out in this storm, try not to be. Go home. If you don't have to be out, go home. And if you are out and you are attempting to go home, don't try to go uphill on any of these on-ramps, especially the on-ramps here off of 84. A 2-wheel drive vehicle with not so great tires is not going to make it up any of the hills, any of the on-ramp hills. As for those that were watching a little while ago you saw with that vehicle, and the trooper having to give it a push up the hill. Temperature currently is 6 degrees, and again the conditions here are just getting worse. We're definitely having snowfall totals of 2 to 3 inches an hour with whiteout conditions here in Connecticut. Again, these are one of those on-ramps or off ramps that I was talking about. It has a slight uphill to it, slight curve, and it is not plowed at all. So if you are in a two-wheel drive vehicle, be very careful. You might have a hard time making it up any of these off ramps. I'm just gonna try to clean off my wipers a little bit. We'll get back on the highway after that. just walk the dog and you give me credit for doing this. Well, I mean, conditions aren't that bad, are they? Yeah, I know. I might be a little crazy, but gotta help provide some insight onto the conditions here in Connecticut right now. Try to adjust my angles just a little bit. All right, let's get back out on that highway, see how conditions are. All right, so we are going to be getting back onto 84. So this is the on-ramp for 84, not plowed at all, at least not recently. Not recently plowed. I'd say there's probably three or 4 inches. I will say the longer I've been out here, the less and less vehicles I'm seeing. Crazy enough, the eastbound side still has a lot more vehicles than the westbound side has had. But definitely, as time goes on, less and less vehicles out here on the road, which is good because the conditions are just getting worse. Well, I don't know if you just saw that, but that vehicle almost just spun out trying to get up this hill. Again, this is a pretty steep incline coming from 84 right after the 691 area. The left and center lanes have been somewhat recently plowed, but it is accumulating fast. It is past 3 o'clock now, so we are getting some of the heavier bands that are giving about 2 to 3 inches an hour here in Connecticut. That was a good save on that SUV's part, though. They started sliding and spinning out, trying to get up this hill. and they were able to recover, but they are unfortunately going a lot faster than they should for these conditions, because I am in four-wheel drive going about 45, and unfortunately they're gaining on me. So they are driving a little too fast for these conditions, but yeah. All right, Ken, thanks for joining the live stream, my first time storm chasing. Thank you for being part of it. Stay safe out there. And yeah. All right, so I just got off an exit on 84 West, one of the exits for Cheshire. I'm going to hop back on to the other side of 84, so 84 eastbound, and I'm going to head back towards the 72 Route 9 area. Slowly start just making my way back to where I live. Because conditions they're getting worse. So the eastbound side of 84 was being plowed as I was going westbound, so this side is definitely a little bit better than the westbound side is. Still, these heavy snow bands causing 2 to 3 inches of accumulation per hour. The highway is still pretty much covered. Can't really tell where the lines are. There goes the plow trucks on the westbound side now, so that's good. Because the westbound side was getting bad. It was definitely getting bad. I think I'm going to take 691, see how 691's looking, and then hop over onto 91, because I haven't been on 91 for a little bit, so we'll see what 91's looking like. Now 691's on-ramp is another one of those hills. So if it hasn't been recently plowed and you have a two-wheel drive vehicle or some not so great tires, I wouldn't try to get onto 691 from 84 east. But if you're going up it right now or in the next 30 minutes or so, the plow trucks are going up 691 currently. So it should be a little bit more drivable. All right, so as we just heard on that weather alert from my Midland radio, the winter storm warning is still in effect all the way until 8 p.m. tomorrow. That's 8 p.m. on Monday. Now, snow's supposed to taper off by about 10 a.m., possibly 12 p.m., but because of the cold weather and the fact that the plow trucks are going to still have to be out addressing the roads, that is why the winter storm warning is still in effect, because of how the conditions will be even once the snow stops. So this is 691 right now, heading eastbound. Plow trucks are out here trying to clear this road and keep up with it. If you're new here, watching live, hope you're all staying safe, staying warm. Let me know down in the comments where you're from and what you're seeing for winter weather in your area. If you're in Connecticut, and you can give me an update on to some of the snowfall totals that you're seeing. We definitely should be upwards of probably 8 to 10 inches right now for most of the state. Alright, I'm going to get off 691. We're going to see how some of the back roads going through Cheshire are. Yeah, it's just looking like a couple gas stations are open. I haven't seen anything else open. There is a McDonald's coming up, so we'll see if that's open. The drive-through screens of the McDonald's is on, but I do not see any lights on in the inside, so that is good. That is good. Not even the fast food places are open. At McDonald's, yeah, I've definitely stopped there myself as well, seeing as I'm right next door to MYI. These back roads going towards Meriden right now are definitely not plowed recently. There's easily about 2 inches on the roadways. For anyone that recently joined, conditions are definitely whiteout here in Connecticut. We have snowfall rates of about 2 to 3 inches an hour currently. The plows are doing their best to keep up with it, but the roads, the side roads, the on-ramps and off-ramps definitely have 2 to 3 inches or more on them. And again, the conditions are pretty white out because of the snowfall rates. So if you have to be out, just be careful, take your time. There's no need to drive fast. Don't crowd the plows either. Give them room to work. And if you don't need to be out, just don't be out, because you could potentially create a hazard or a risk for snowplows or first responders. if you are out on the roads, don't be like that white SUV right there that's kind of in between the plows right now. Give them room. Back up. Stay out of their way. I do apologize, though. My wipers are doing a horrible job at keeping up with this. Not only the precipitation from the amount of snow, but how just cold it is. It's freezing very fast, and my wipers are not doing very great. So I'm actually using my iPhone right now, so it actually has a very good camera. Most of the blurriness you're seeing is just the fact that the windshield is not really cooperating with me in this weather. This is also my very first live stream for those that have recently joined. I was trying to figure out how to possibly do multiple cameras, have like my GoPro up on the outside of the truck, have that live streaming connected to this one. Wasn't really able to figure that out. Again, first live stream, I'm learning a lot. And if I keep doing this, I'll definitely slowly work to improve the content that I give you when I'm live. Yeah, my wipers are just pretty much frozen over right now, and the temperature is 6 degrees, and everything's just kind of freezing. And these are pretty new wipers. It's just, that's what the conditions are like out here. So For anyone trying to follow along, I am on 691 eastbound, heading towards 91. I'm going to go northbound on 91. Plows have been doing their best to keep up with the roads. Looking over at the westbound side of 691, it has not been plowed recently, and looks like there could be easily 2 inches or more on that side. The plows are here on the eastbound right now, and we'll see if they continue or make their way onto 91 as well. My phone is wanting to focus on the water that's smearing on the windshield right now. Alright, looks like the plow trucks are going to continue on to 66, and I'll be getting on to 91 here. 91 going north. And this ramp has not been plowed recently. There's easily 3 inches of snow on this ramp. And it looks like 91 northbound is the same. It does not look like it's been recently plowed. Thankfully, 91, both north and south, look like a ghost town. I don't see any vehicles out here on the road, which is good. If you do not need to be out, stay home. Stay warm. Again, if you are out and you get stuck behind those plows, stay behind them. Give them room. Give them the space they need to work. Don't try to pass them. Driving in these conditions is a time to have some patience. There's no need to rush. But again, this is 91 North in Middletown. And it looks like this part was recently plowed, but the snowfall rates have definitely covered everything back up very quickly. Definitely got some whiteout conditions right now. Looking at the radar, some of the heavier bands, we do have snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches an hour right now. And visibility is at or below a quarter of a mile. If you are anywhere in central Connecticut. But looking at the radar, it looks like most of Connecticut is getting those heavy bands right now. If you're looking to get any information about where I'm at and what the conditions are looking like outside of what you're seeing on your screen, just let me know down in the comments in the live chat, and I'll do my best to update you guys. I'm probably going to be live here only for a little bit longer. I am slowly making my way back to where I live. It looks like the on-ramps for Route 9 north and south have not been plowed recently. So definitely be careful if you're out in this way, if you have to be out on the roads. But again, I haven't seen very many cars out here, which is good. Everyone is staying home, staying safe, staying warm. Got a car off the side, but it looks to be abandoned. No one's there. Yeah, it's completely covered in snow. That is unfortunate. But also what happens when you try to drive in conditions like this. Alright, Route 9 looks like it's been recently plowed. Definitely doing a good job of keeping up with that. Again, there's only so much these plow truck drivers can do. There's only so many of them, obviously, out on the road, and they have a lot of highways that they need to take care of. So I am noticing that some of these plowed parts of the highway have patches of built up ice. And that's because as they plow and as vehicles are driving, the snow is melting, but then it is cold enough that it's pretty much refreezing. So you're getting a bunch of clumps of ice and frozen snow that are left on the roadways after they plow. That's actually what some of those black stripes and patches are that you can see on the road. That's actually not the asphalt, because I can feel it on my tires that I'm bouncing over ice right now. Again, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Say hi in the live chat. This is actually my very first live stream and my first time attempting to do some storm chasing and or just out here to help anyone who might get stuck. Typically my channel is off-road and oriented, and I figured that because I have a decent following here on YouTube, and because I have a vehicle that's built properly with good tires, with proper recovery gear, that I'd take a stab at storm chasing. Only because I've always had an interest in weather. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a weatherman. That obviously did not happen, but I figured I could do what I like. Enjoy being out here in the weather, enjoy kind of looking at the conditions while showing you guys in real time what it's actually like here during this storm out here on the roads of Connecticut. Yeah, for anyone who has been in the live chat or has been in the live, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Again, this is my first live, and my first time trying to do storm chasing, so it's been a learning experience thus far. Got another car off here in the ditch, but it is snow covered with no power. Sorry, can't help you out there. That's at least the fourth vehicle that I've seen just abandoned on the side of the highway. And unfortunately, all of the vehicles that I've seen off to the side in a ditch, abandoned, completely snow covered, are all usually sedans, two-wheel drive vehicles. So again, listen to your state officials. If there's a travel ban, listen to that travel ban. If you do not need to be out in this stuff, stay home, stay warm, stay safe. And if you do have to come out for whatever reason, be safe, take it slow, and hopefully you are using a vehicle that is meant to be out in these conditions, or at least can handle it. A lot of snow over on the northbound side of Route 9. That plow truck was definitely throwing a lot of it. I don't know if you just saw that, but I'm surprised that car made that turn and has made it up that hill, because that is not plowed. Oh yeah, I'm sure down in Florida it's nice out there. I heard it's probably what, 70 degrees, 80 degrees. Listen, I hate the cold. I really do. But I love the snow. So, like, would I rather be in Florida where it's 80 degrees? Temperature-wise, yeah, probably. But I'd honestly rather be up here right now, enjoying this snow. Oh, I wasn't sure if you were, you possibly took a vacation to Florida to get away from this winter storm. But yeah, yep. I heard weather in Florida is nice right now, though. But I'm good. I'm good staying up here, enjoying the snow. I'm not sure actually. I think in central Connecticut, right now I'm actually in Middletown, I'd say there's probably close to 10 inches. I've heard reports that other parts of the state have definitely gotten 12 plus already. And obviously we have these heavy snow bands that are producing 2 to 3 inches per hour, and they're supposed to last till midnight. So we will definitely get over 12 inches for the entire state, and if we're lucky, some parts might see upwards of 20. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense because Greenwich obviously was getting snow a lot earlier than the central part of the state. So yeah, I could definitely see how you already have probably 12 plus inches. Last time Connecticut saw 20 plus inches though was in 2013. The next big snowstorm after that was in 2016, and I think most of Connecticut only saw like 14 to 18 inches during the 2016 one. But the 2013 one was the last time the state saw over 20 inches. So I'm excited. I hope we do get close to 20 inches. It definitely is fun to see, and it's fun to play in. Again though, if you don't have to be out in this stuff, stay home. If you do have to go out, just make sure you have a proper vehicle, 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, good tires. Don't be out if you don't have to be. So my General Grabber ATXs are doing amazing. I haven't had any issues. I haven't slipped at all. Obviously, I am in 4-wheel drive, but the tires are also a huge help when it comes to driving this kind of stuff. Again, if you do not have all-terrain, all-weather, or snow-rated tires, and you don't have all-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, I highly recommend staying home. Do not go out in this stuff at all. It's a nightmare. Again, I've seen at least 4, maybe 5 cars, I think now, that have just been stuck on the side of the highway because... And they basically just got abandoned. They're completely snow covered, and they were all sedans without all-wheel drive. But yeah, the plows are doing their best to keep up with the roads, but with this snowfall rate, it's hard. It's tough. They are doing their best. This is one of the back roads right off of Route 9 in Cromwell. It hasn't been plowed recently. There's easily 2 to 3 inches on the road already. So just stay safe if you do have to be out in this weather. It is. I love the snow. It definitely makes everything feel magical. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and as my good friend Ken from Varsity Overland pointed out, it looks like Hoth out here right now, and it really does. It's just spectacular the way it looks. I love the snow. I hate the cold though. I can do without the cold, but it looks awesome out here right now. You guys outside real quick. Take a look at the snow around my truck. We're definitely getting up there in snowfall. Yep, the snow's pretty deep right now, actually. All right, so for right now, I think I'm going to end this live stream. I am not far from home, so I think I'm going to go warm up for a little bit. Maybe I'll get back out here and show you what it's like as the conditions continue to deteriorate over the night. But either way, thank you for everyone that's joined this live stream. This is, again, my very first live stream and my first time trying to do storm chasing. Like I said, I've always had an interest in weather. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a weatherman. That didn't happen, but I figured that with my following here on YouTube, I would use the YouTube platform and my interest in weather to live stream and show you guys what the conditions are like out here in Connecticut. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get back out there later on tonight. If not, maybe I'll do a live stream tomorrow once the storm calms down, just to show you guys what it still looks like after the cleanup begins. But again, really appreciate everyone who has tuned in to this live stream. Thank you very much. Hope you guys stay safe, stay warm, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.